This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Precisely 1:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Romesh Peris and read by Sharifa Tahir. Headlines. The President instructs to issue a Gazette notification immediately to suspend the importation of rice. Speaker of the House endorses the Appropriation Amendment Bill. The NBRO says the atmospheric pollution experienced in the island is expected to clear gradually. Promotions carried out in view of the 72nd anniversary of the Sri Lanka Navy. A 10-hour water cut for several areas in Colombo tomorrow due to urgent repairs at the Ambatale water treatment plant. International news, China and Saudi Arabia cement ties with deals including Huawei. Sports rugby, 2022-2023 Inter-Club Rugby League season gets underway today. Local news in detail now. President Ranil Wickremesinghe has instructed to issue a Gazette notification to immediately suspend the importation of rice. The Ministry of Agriculture said, based on a request made by Subject Minister Mahinda Amaravira, President Wickremesinghe issued the directive to his senior advisor RHS Samaratunga. Minister Amaravira has informed the President that there are no concerns of a rice shortage in 2023 since they have received a considerable harvest in the Yalla season and farmers have already commenced cultivation on 675,000 hectares of land out of 800,000 hectares of paddy fields. During a meeting at the parliamentary complex yesterday, Minister Amaravira has informed the President that some farmers are in possession of harvests from 3 seasons and therefore imports must be halted. Accordingly, a directive has been issued to publish the Gazette. Speaker of House Mahinda Yapa Abewardena has endorsed the certificate on the Appropriation Amendment Bill which was passed in Parliament yesterday. The Bill to Amend Appropriation Act No. 30 of 2021 was presented by the Prime Minister and Minister of Public Administration, Home Affairs, Provincial Councils and Local Government, Dinesh Gunawardena, on the 15th of November. Following the debate on the third reading, Parliament yesterday approved the bill following a vote. The 2023 budget presented by President Ranil Wickremesinghe in his capacity as Minister of Finance was passed with a majority of 43 votes in Parliament. 123 members of Parliament voted in favour of this reading of the budget, while 80 MPs voted against the bill. Parliament will today debate the second reading of the Value Added Tax Amendment Bill and Inland Revenue Amendment Bill. The decision was reached by the Committee on Parliamentary Business. Accordingly, the Secretary-General of Parliament said Parliament will convene at 9:30 a.m. Time has been allocated from 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. for questions for oral answers and from 10:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. the bills will be taken up for debate. Furthermore, the motion at the adjournment time by the government is scheduled from 5 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. Meanwhile, yesterday Parliament approved the 2023 budget. The budget was passed with a majority of 43 votes. A total of 222 officers as well as 3,548 senior and junior sailors have been promoted to their respective next ranks in view of the 72nd anniversary of the Sri Lanka Navy. The Sri Lanka Navy, which is held in high esteem as the first line of defense of the nation, marked the organization's 72nd anniversary. On the directives of Commander of the Navy, Vice Admiral Nishantha Ulugetana, a wide range of programs are being conducted in each naval command, giving prominence to time-honored naval customs and religious practices. Additionally, capital ships of the Sri Lanka Navy will rest at anchor off the Gulf Face Green today, giving the public an opportunity to have a glance at some of the major ships of the Sri Lanka Navy. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Corporation giving you the news.
Discounts of up to 60% for People's Bank credit cards this festive season.
Continuing with more stories here at home, the National Water Supply and Drainage Board says that a 10-hour water cut will be enforced on Saturday the 10th of December from 10 a.m. in several areas of Colombo. The Water Board attributed the water cut to urgent repairs at the Ambatale water treatment plant. Accordingly, the water cut will be effective in Colombo, Dehiwala, Mount Lavinia, Kotte, Kaduwala Municipality, Maharagama and Badalasgamu from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. The water cut will also be enforced in the Kolannava Municipality, Kotigavatta, Mulleriava, Ratmalana and Katubadda. The Ceylon Electricity Board will impose 2-hour and 20-minute power cuts in all residential areas today as well. The Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka has approved a 1-hour power cut during the day and 1-hour and 20-minute power disruption at night for groups A to L and P to W. That's local news for the moment.
Enjoy discounts of up to 60% at selected merchants. Only with your People's Bank credit card this festive season.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The National Building Research Organization said pollution level of the airflow from India to Sri Lanka is receding gradually and therefore the atmospheric pollution experienced in the country is expected to clear soon. Senior scientist at National Building Research Organization Sarath Premasiri said the air quality numerical value in several major cities was between 150 and 200, which is considerably higher than what is considered a healthy level. He said, however, due to the change in wind direction owing to the depression in the Bay of Bengal, the air quality in Sri Lanka is improving steadily.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
Celebrate Christmas and New Year with lots of CIB discounts. Valuable gifts with bank discounts till 31st of December. Come to CIB today.
And on Watchlight, a request has been made for people to wear face masks as the air quality in several cities in the country has reached an unhealthy level. Director General of Health Services Dr. Asela Gunawardena said they expect the prevailing situation to remain for a week. The air quality has temporarily worsened in the main cities including Colombo, Kurunegala, Jaffna, Ratnapura, Puttalam and Kandy due to wind coming from India. Accordingly, the elderly, expectant mothers, children, heart patients and lung patients are requested not to leave their houses as much as possible.
Celebrate Christmas and New Year with lots of CIB discounts. Valuable gifts with bank discounts till 31st of December. Come to CIB today.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
We give you the strength to rise higher and higher.
Never step back, but always march forward.
Empowering you to reach greater heights. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
World News headlines: China and Saudi Arabia cement ties with deals including Huawei. Peru ex-President Castillo detained as rebellion probe proceeds. Russia frees U.S. basketball star Brittany Griner in prison swap. World News in detail. Chinese President Xi Jinping and Saudi King Salman have signed a series of strategic deals, including one involving Chinese tech giant Huawei, as part of a visit expected to bolster political and economic ties. On Thursday, Xi and King Salman signed a comprehensive strategic partnership agreement after he was escorted to Yamama Palace by the Saudi Royal Guard, who were on horseback and carried Chinese and Saudi flags. Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the de facto ruler of the world's biggest oil exporter, greeted Xi at the palace, which is the king's official residence and seat of the royal court. The Chinese leader heralded a new era in ties. A judge in Peru has ordered Pedro Castillo to be detained for 7 days as authorities investigate charges of rebellion and conspiracy against the former president, who was removed from office and arrested this week. Castillo made his initial court appearance via video conference on Thursday, a day after Congress overwhelmingly voted to remove him in the third impeachment attempt of his embattled and short-lived presidency. Thursday's preliminary court hearing sought to evaluate the legality of Castillo's arrest, as well as touch on an inquiry by the Attorney General's office into charges he orchestrated an alleged rebellion. Finally, on world news, basketball star Brittany Griner has been freed from a Russian prison and is on her way home to the United States after a prisoner swap with convicted arms dealer Victor Bout, who was serving a 25-year jail term in the U.S. News of the release spurred messages of relief from U.S. officials, supporters, and Griner's loved ones, who had been campaigning for her return for months. The exchange took place at Abu Dhabi Airport in the United Arab Emirates on Thursday, Russian news agency reported. U.S. President Joe Biden said Griner, a two-time Olympic gold medalist, was on her way home. That's on World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
Amidst all challenges, we will rally around you and advance.
In the face of hardships, let's stand strong together.
Empowering you to reach greater heights. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development news. The government of Sri Lanka has awarded a $14.89 million contract to India's Ercon International Limited on a Sri Lanka Railways project under the Indian line of credit. The project involves designing, installing, testing, commissioning and certifying of signalling and telecommunication system from Mao Junction to Anuradhapura. Ercon has secured the work on competitive bidding basis, and the contract period will be 24 months from the date of signing of the contract agreement. And moving on to sports news now. In rugby, the curtain raiser of 2022-2023 Inter-Club Rugby League tournament will take place at the Valisara Navy grounds this evening. The opening game of the new league season will see Navy Sports Club taking on Police Sports Club at 4 p.m. 3 more league games will be worked off this weekend. Meanwhile, pre-tournament favourites Brazil will take on Croatia to kick-start the quarter-final stage of the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar today. The first quarter-final is scheduled to be played at the Education City Stadium in Doha from 8:30 p.m. Sri Lanka time. In the second game of the day, two-time champions Argentina will take on Netherlands at the Lusail Stadium in Al Dayan. The game will begin at 12:30 a.m. Sri Lanka time. That's on Sports News.
The fastest way to earn the highest interest, an interest rate of 22% in 4 months. NSB, the safest place for your money.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Dialogue Enterprise, the corporate ICT solutions arm of Dialogue Asiata PLC, recently deployed a customized mission-critical push-to-talk solution for Lanka Electricity Company Private Limited. The rapid response arm of the Ceylon Electricity Board LECO was established in 1983 to provide electrical service to underserved areas. This MCPTT project, awarded to Dialogue Enterprise after a competitive bidding process, had the objective of providing a radio telecommunication system based on mission-critical push-to-talk over 4G LTE technology to cover the LECO service grids in Galle, Moratuwa, Kaltara, Nigambu, Kalaniya, Kotte and Nugekoda. Mission-critical user communication have a higher priority than public user communications as per 3GPP telecommunications standards.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The fastest way to earn the highest interest, an interest rate of 22% in 4 months. NSB, the safest place for your money.
Economic news, courtesy of...
For the 5th consecutive year, LOLC is awarded People's Financial Services Brand of the Year at the 2022 Slim Kantar People's Awards. As the People's Financial Services Brand of the Year, LOLC continues to place the customer first. And this has won the hearts, minds and trust of Sri Lankans, with yet another prestigious award as proof of this lasting commitment. LOLC. Imagine the possibilities.
And on economic news, the Minister of Agriculture, Wildlife and Forest Resources Conservation, Mahinda Amaravira, said that the Wildlife Department has received a record income due to the large number of tourists who came to Sri Lanka during the months of November and December on 2 luxury cruise ships, Main Ship 5 and Azamara Quest. Accordingly, the ministry says the total revenue received by the Wildlife Department amounts to 7.2 million rupees.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking.
And on the weather update, the Department of Meteorology forecasts the deep depression over Southeast Bay of Bengal is concentrated into a cyclonic storm. The cyclonic storm Mandus over Southwest Bay of Bengal is very likely to move west-northwestwards and cross North Tamil Nadu, Puducherry and South Andhra Pradesh coast over Southwest Bay of Bengal later today. Hence, showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the northern, north-central, eastern, over, central and northwestern provinces. Heavy rainfall above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in the aforementioned areas. Strong winds about 60 to 70 kilometers per hour can be expected at times over the northern, north-central, eastern, over and central provinces. That's the weather update, and before we wind up this bulletin of news, back to the headlines. The President instructs to issue a Gazette notification immediately to suspend the importation of rice. Speaker of House endorses the Appropriation Amendment Bill. The NBRO says the atmospheric pollution experienced in the island is expected to clear gradually. Promotions carried out in view of the 72nd anniversary of the Sri Lanka Navy. A 10-hour water cut for several areas in Colombo tomorrow due to urgent repairs at the Ambatale water treatment plant. International news, China and Saudi Arabia cement ties with deals including Huawei. Sports, rugby, 2022-2023 Inter-Club Rugby League season gets underway today. With that, we conclude the afternoon bulletin of news.